The new fancy Zoom update. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna teach y'all something today that has been so healing in my life. Um, and you can, if you want to, come back to this meditation as things come up in your life that you're like, ooh, this one hurts, or I feel sticky in this area, or I feel blocked. There's a line of work, it's been around for years. It's becoming increasingly popular called shadow work. It can sound crazy, but it's very, uh, it makes sense is all. I can't think of the word for it. Um, so just to give you a very short explanation of why this is really, really healing and helpful. When we're little, and I'll give the example of selfish because that's the one I see a lot when I work with private clients, but there's a lot of them. So when we're little, we pick up a message from our environment. We could have had an awesome upbringing, and one little thing happens, and we pick up a message like, oh God, it's not okay to be this way. It's not okay to be selfish. It's not okay to be greedy. It's not okay to be arrogant, whatever the shadow stuff is that we're afraid of. So the reason it's called shadow work, we place it into shadow. We put it in the deep recesses of it could be called unconscious mind work. We put it into the deep recesses of our unconscious mind and we go, it's too painful. And it might have come from trauma too. It's too painful for anyone to think I'm not enough. I'm not worthy. I'm selfish. I'm greedy. So what we end up doing is we go in the opposite end to overcompensate. So if we were told when we were little, like, how dare you ask for all of that stuff? How dare you want that? Can't you see we don't have enough money to pay for blah, blah, blah? You're totally ashamed and you're like, oh my God, I'm selfish and greedy. I need to survive. I can't have anybody think this about me. So I'm going to become a giver. I'm going to become a people pleaser. I'm going to become a selfless. So shadows are a gift. We immediately go, this is bad, I got to put this away. But what happens is because we place something into shadow, we end up overcompensating. So there's always a gift in the shadow. There's always a light in the dark. So for those of us that have the greedy shadow, the selfish shadow, it taught us to be givers. It taught us to be considerate of what other people would want to. Now, what happens when we do this work is we wake up to the fact that we're out of balance. If we have two ends of the pole, right, we've got greedy and selfless, we're all trying to find our way back into a healthy balance in the middle, where I have millions of dollars and there's a part of me that wants to do good with some of it, right? Because if we didn't think we were greedy when we were little, that's just the example, then we would never have thought to be givers, and we wouldn't have these heart-centered things that we were learning. So what I'm going to take you through today is a meditation of 5 questions. So we're going to relax. And if you have 5 minutes at the end, I highly, highly recommend pulling your journal out and just jotting down really quickly some of the answers that came to you. But just trust that whatever comes up and you need to hear, it'll stay in you and it'll marinate. So if you forget at the end, you still had the work. It doesn't matter if you remember. So we're going to pull up what's the strongest shadow for you. How has it been a gift? Because if we're in resistance to these shadows, it creates, we hide and we're like, I can't go forward in my life because I can't have people think this stuff about me. So what we do in shadow work is we relax the energy. We see it from a different lens, which allows the energy to integrate. And then we're not in deep resistance to it. We're like, oh, this helped me learn some stuff and I'll never, not a greedy person, even if it pops up sometimes, that's okay and human. And it taught me what I needed to learn. So it was actually an ally in my life. So I'm not in resistance to it. Oh, this is a great thing. And then my energy relaxes around it. And then we stop pulling in situations from the outside world that match that frequency. Our outside world changes from this work. I've had miracles happen with this work. So I wanted to share a meditation with you today with this. So hopefully that helped it make a little bit of sense. Got a heart. We're good. All right. So go ahead. I put as usual, the miracle frequency music in the chat if y'all want some sound healing. Just get really cozy, open your mind, Sometimes people have miraculous healings after one meditation of this. Sometimes it takes a few times. Depends on how long these things have been wired into our brain. Really, these meditations and shadow work is about unconditional love and self-love and self-acceptance of going, it's okay. I thought this about myself. I'm not a bad person. It was actually a gift in my life. So we accept and allow all the parts, the dark and the light, regardless of what out there thinks about us. Then our lives open up. Whoo, and that's a gift. All right. So feeling your body on the ground. Take some deep breaths and slow down. So just feel that bum connected underneath of you. Maybe your feet are on the floor. Just take 3 deep breaths into the belly, into the chest. Expand the belly like a balloon and release. Into the belly and release. One more into the belly and release. Really feel that connection between the body and the ground, body and the chair. Starting to slow everything down. If the mind is going, we just begin to observe it and we slow ourselves down consciously. We forget our power. That while it may be uncomfortable at times, we have access to sovereignty, to taking our power back, to being in co-creative control with the universe. Breathing into the belly and releasing, and every exhale lets that body relax. The eyes soften and your gaze widens to peripheral view inside of your head. Chest relaxes, belly. Breathing in and out, everything softens. You get to come into this delicious space of not needing to think about work for a little bit. We get to integrate something you've been ready to integrate your whole life, and you'll just feel better. That's all. You'll just feel better. And people around you start treating you differently. And we could all use that. So nice and soft, nice and floaty, as best as you can today. Honoring where you are. Just let everything relax. Moving into the present moment, meditative state. Full permission to just be floaty and existing and being. Got nothing to do. You got nowhere to be right now. Deep breaths in and out of the belly. And as everything continues to soften, knowing that I will bring you back at the end of the meditation, you allow yourself to be held right now. You allow yourself to go on an inner journey to the unconscious mind, to the parts of you you innocently push to the background out of fear. Now we bring them to the light of love and see that they were our friend all along. Nothing to be afraid of. Welcoming an aspect of us back home. As you settle a little bit deeper within, I want you just to imagine that you're encompassed in this safe golden light. Only love can enter in and out of here. And in this light, you see this billboard. And on this billboard is your face. And we needn't go back into the pain to do this work. We're just getting some information here. And so I want you just to trust, because there can be many shadows, but we're going to go with what the strongest one is today. What occurs to you first? What would be the worst thing? You had that billboard and everyone saw that all over LA. And someone said, you are this, and it was written there. This person is greedy. This person is selfish. This person is arrogant. This person is stupid. What would make your insides cringe if the whole city thought that about you? What have you been trying to overcompensate for and hide your greatest fear that everyone thinks you're weird, crazy, too much? What adjective to describe you would be the worst thing on that billboard? Just let it arise. Just pick one. Maybe it helps to just scan your life for a moment, and maybe there have been people that have called you something and it's just broken you. What's your word? This isn't true. We're working to make some space around this word today. And once we have our word, we begin to move into the depths of our inner knowing. Beyond our mind, we listen to the quiet hints that pop up into our head from deeper us, from the unconscious parts of us. As our body is soft, we are relaxed, breathing in and out of the belly. And making a choice today. Do I want to heal this? Just so I can feel better, so people can treat me differently. So, taking that descriptive word, just placing it out in front of you, I want you just to ask yourself these series of questions as the healing takes place. Where did you come from? What was the incident where I created you, or rejected, repressed you? Where did you come from? Maybe a memory, or just the thought of the culture you grew up in, or a parent, or anything. What made you think that this was true about yourself? Just let that kind of play a story in your mind so you become aware of where it came from. Not using our thinking mind, we just kind of open our mind and see what pops in. Just to have this subjective standpoint of, wow, this isn't even mine. This got planted in my head. I made this up as a survival strategy. So then let's ask this shadow aspect of ourselves, this descriptive word. How have you been an ally in my growth and evolution all along? So, by believing that this was true, so not that it is, but by believing that it was true, what did it force you to learn? But how has it been a gift or an ally? You don't have to figure this out. Just see what answers arise that are unexpected as you just breathe, ask the question, and see what pops in. How have you been an ally in my growth? What did you force me to learn that has actually been a good thing? Being patient with this as the answer may arise today or tomorrow or the next day. How have you been a gift? Looking past the obvious. Asking this aspect of ourselves now, why are you appearing now? What gift, lesson, or blessing do you have for me now? So, why did you show up to this meditation and get this information right now? How could this be a timely thing for you to be seeing? Why are you appearing right now to shift and heal? Is there something I'm moving into, seeing, letting go of? Asking this aspect of yourself as you relax even deeper, soft body, easy breath, encompassed in golden light as we explore. What do you need from me, shadow, to feel loved, valued, and accepted so that you can take your rightful constructive place in my life again? And let this shadow pop the answer into your head. What do you need from me to feel loved so that I don't judge you anymore? Do you need me to see you differently? Do you need me to add something into my life? See what answer surprises you. What do you need from me to feel loved, valued, and accepted so you can take your rightful constructive place in my life again? Where I haven't placed you into shadow, but you can be out, integrated, and balanced. I want you just to imagine little you that thought this about themselves. And I want you just to come in as wiser, smarter you. And let the little one know a few sentences or phrases of the truth that it's okay to be the way they were, that they misunderstood, or that they'll never be what they think they are. Or if they are, it's okay. What does that little one need to hear from you, little you, about this topic after you've seen what you've seen? Tell them now in your mind. And lastly, what will my life look like when I fully accept and embody you? What will the highest vision of my life be? Maybe a word or an emotion or an image comes to you. What will my life look like when I fully accept and embody this aspect I had originally placed into shadow? What will the highest vision of my life be when I integrate and make peace with this and tell myself what I actually need to hear? And as words and images come into your mind, start to take some deep breaths to allow all of these energies to integrate, welcoming any emotion that may have risen into your mind, into your body. Just really breathe and cleanse and allow this energy to shift, offering it all the time it needs for you to see the gift and the new way. Breathing into the belly and releasing. As you slowly become aware again of the physical connection between your body and the ground, the furniture, that you're right behind your eyes and you're planted in your body and you're in the room and you're on the earth and you're in the golden light and your energy's integrating. Aware of your connection under you, you take one more cleansing breath in and out of the belly. And as you release, you start to wiggle and stretch. Bring yourself back and open your eyes whenever you're ready.